Radio Zero with Rick and Rose. Saturday, August 17th in the year 2024. Do you ever start writing like 203 and then you're like, oh my God, it's 2020, if there's a second two in there. Like, are you ever surprised that it's 2024?
As opposed to 2023?
No, like we're almost dead. Like I don't know.
We're live streaming on Facebook, typically Fridays, every other Friday, 5 p.m. Central, but today it's a Saturday. Facebook on the Radio Zero page and the Poster Children page, on Twitch at PCJCUSA, and on the Poster Children YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, RadioZero.us. Nope. Oh, nope.
Yeah, I like that.
Romper bumpers, stomper boo, tell me, do. Tell me, magic mirror today, did all of my friends have fun at play?
New patron.
Wow.
Joseph C.
Thank you, Joseph C. Yay. You have like a yay, like an applause or anything?
I don't.
The romper room is enough. Thank you very much.
Plenty.
Your money is going to a good cause.
You can patronize us at patreon.com/RadioZero.
Wow. And hello out there to Christopher Lee Schneeberger, who I think that's how you pronounce that.
He's corrected you before.
No. He corrected everybody on the internet.
I know,
yeah.
but
What
I'm
did
just
always say
saying
Schneeberger?
Yeah.
It's Schneeberger. I hope that's correct. But hello there, Chris. Aren't you like dying to know how Chris's teaching is going? I'm dying to know. I want to like anybody who like think about those of us who like get up on the like we've he said yay. We get up. We've been doing this for 20 years, 30 years, however many years we've been doing this, getting up on a stage and screaming at people and yelling and singing and stuff and being one with the crowd and everything like that. And now like some of us, I'm thinking about the Steve Albini like memorial too, like people just hanging out like on grass instead of like on grass. No, people like hanging out like in a like near a beach and stuff, like instead of on a stage and stuff. Anyway, like people. Okay, so Chris's teaching starts on Monday. Ours does too.
Nobody's been
like
teaching,
but we're like then now like people actually pay to come see us like perform and stuff, but we're also like the guy from Tar too, Mark. Like we're also we have these day jobs. Some of us have these day jobs as teachers. And kids like come in. It's like that. What wasn't there a Saturday Night Live of that too? Like oh no, it was a Simpsons episode, right? Where like what was it?
I don't know.
Bart Simpson has got like the bass player from the Pretenders or something, as his principal or something like that. I don't
remember.
How do you not remember that? You
I don't
saw
know.
The Pretenders too, didn't you?
Anyway.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening. I'm in a terrible mood right now. Just because I can't bring any of my sadness and like any of my melancholy, as it were.
Your infinite sadness.
And my infinite sadness.
Because Billy Corgan's sadder than you. He went to the Lincoln Museum. There were some pictures online.
Those were just photo ops, right?
Well, no, he went.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he was playing the state fair and stopped by the
we didn't
museum,
even go
just
see
like
them.
we did when we went to the state fair. We didn't play, but we saw.
Oh, did we? Oh,
we saw Cheap Trick.
Oh, that's right.
And no, we saw Blondie.
And we
watched Cheap Trick's crew cover all their equipment with tarps before the racetrack was flooded. Or whatever that was. It was a racetrack, right?
Yeah,
that was
I think
where
so.
Did
we? So we saw Blondie?
Yeah,
That's kind of cool that we saw Blondie.
That was like, 15 years ago? 10 years ago?
Don't know.
But I think that time we did go to the Lincoln Museum also. We've been to the Lincoln Museum since then. But
it's got good merch. Lincoln Museum's got good merch. I gotta say, it's a great place to go. All these little museums you should go to. They're great. Like where did we just go recently? What little museum have we gone to recently?
Or you mean the
Like the out of the way museums that you would like that aren't like the Art Institute or the MoMA, or the MCA or the MoCA or the Mass MoCA.
Well, we went to the Detroit
There
Institute
you
of
go.
Art.
Okay, that's a big one too.
We went to the Gerald Ford
That's
Museum.
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Gerald Ford Museum and then the Henry Ford Museum, all that stuff.
And that was the thing, actually. Thinking about we talked a little bit about it, like going to the Gerald Ford Museum, and like I think that I feel it's like a Gen X thing, like where you go to museums. Like it's not. I wouldn't say it's ironic, but you go to museums not only like I'm not a big fan or proponent of Gerald Ford, but of course I'm going to go to the Gerald Ford presidential museum if I'm in.
You're going to go to the meeting too.
In where was it? Ann Arbor? No, Grand Rapids.
Yeah. Hey, Larry.
And wow, totally lost my.
Sorry. Of course you're going to go Gen X. Is it Gen X to go to a museum? Is it what is Gen X? Yeah. Like that's the thing is what is Gen X?
This is the thing is going to Target, which I have to go back to, and I have to buy these that had the Pringles and the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Bluetooth headphones that were at Target for $5, and they make no sense, right? But it was like, and I was telling our Gen Z guide, my Gen Z guide who was at the store, is like, he was like, you do not need to buy that. There's no reason for you to buy that. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's part of my
upbringing.
Yeah, my generational thing is like, if you see a weird branding, if you see it's not even, I can't think of another example.
Larry's saying we wander the earth. There's two Larrys listening. The other Larry is saying Lawrence is saying we wander the earth. Go on. It's part of your upbringing. I'm calling out to the people who are calling out to us.
I understand.
So what other things? Because you do buy a lot of these things. Like I buy clothes, and then I used to feel bad. Rick probably thinks I'm a spendthrift or something. A long time ago, I would have felt bad. I don't feel bad anymore because you buy Legos and weird things. So what are some of the things that you like had to buy, and you're going to have to go back to Target to buy? Are you going to buy both the Reese's and the what's the other one?
They're probably gone by now, but they were $5. Bluetooth headphones.
Wow, who wouldn't need that? They were $5.
Yeah.
Jesus, were they in that Target when you first walk into Target and there's that little area? Oh man,
the garbage bin, the dollar bin.
Yeah.
It's not.
What are you going to?
I did just buy a pair of crappy Bluetooth retro-looking headphones because I need Bluetooth headphones for when I'm doing housework and yard work.
You don't want to mess up your good headphones, right?
Yeah, I sweat.
Yeah.
So, and it was like, I should have just waited and gotten a pair of Pringles headphones.
Do they have Pringles ones too?
Yes.
Okay, so they have Pringles and
Reese's,
not M&Ms. They have M&Ms? Okay, Pringles. See, yeah, Pringles, that's the thing. Like M&Ms, I would have been like, because they have M&M stores. But Pringles, yeah, that's crazy. So what other things have you bought? Like what?
And I believe both Pringles and Reese's, are they owned by Kellanova now? So I just learned that Kellogg's is split into two companies. The North American cereal division is called like something Kellogg's, like the initials of the founder. And then there's Kellanova, which is everything else, like snack foods, like Kellogg's snack foods. And they split off the two companies, like Eggo waffles. And now Mars is going to buy Kellanova. It's weird.
This is not making me feel any better. You need to cheer me up.
Well, I don't know. So other stuff that I've bought. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I didn't buy. I did not buy, and I am a Lego, what do they call it? Lego exclusive member. I can't remember what the Lego club is.
Are you a Lego distinguished Legoist. Trying
Yeah.
to think of what, like all the different. Are you a
Club
Lego?
Lego. I
Are
can't
you a
remember
Lego
what it's called.
fellow?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and so I could have pre-ordered or I could have gotten an advance buy of the Jaws Lego set, and I held back and I didn't buy that.
Yeah. So what would you'd been like? Okay, it's Steven Spielberg Jaws movie, and that's why I need to buy it because Lego is acknowledging Steven Spielberg. Is that what it is? Because
No.
like the Pringles headphones. Pringles is acknowledging that I don't only need to eat Pringles, but I need to listen to music. They're acknowledging that I like music, so
No.
that's why I need the headphones.
So then I guess you don't understand it either. I feel like it's a Gen
I'm
X thing.
sure I
It's
don't
like,
understand it.
It's like it's similar to like the B-52s or Pee Wee Herman. It's like buying kitschy kind of weird stuff, right?
Okay. Larry says I almost bought Sour Patch Kids Oreos at Target today, but then I thought better of it, and then Larry also is calling you a leg head.
A leg head. Yeah. So I bought, what did I buy? The last thing, so I keep trying not to buy stuff. So the last thing I bought was the weird AM FM radio Lego set.
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't even play an AM FM radio,
No,
right?
but it has
It has-
pre-recorded, it has
Yeah.
a digital
Yeah.
play block or something. So when you turn the dial, it'll play one of 8 little samples of different radio sort of eras. It's it was really cool.
What?
And then what
What
so,
else have you bought?
I mean, and I have like the Run DMC and Rolling Stones Little People dolls, right? Fisher Price Little People dolls, I believe. I bought those. So yeah, stuff like that.
I'm trying to think of what I bought. Like, yeah.
Yeah, nostalgia garbage.
Your room though, your office is like filled with this beautiful. Like Rick's office at school is gorgeous. It's like filled with like nostalgia stuff. Yeah. So you like nostalgia. I like to move forward, and
What
that's why I'm
What are you
depressed.
listening to? What music are you listening to?
Nothing. I'm not listening to anything. I listen to podcasts. I listen to who are those guys? I listen to Pod Save America. There's a
Right.
shout out.
Moving forward.
Actually, what I was thinking is that our I've thought of this a couple of times. I think is it Pod Save America or the guys, the AI guys, the Hard Fork guys. All their music for starting their podcast is really nice. Their theme music, and so is ours. It's really good. So you did a good job on our theme music.
Mm.
I'm really sad. Okay, so what else you got here? What are you looking forward to buying? Are you really going to go to Target today and buy that stuff?
I don't think I should. Well, it's also like Target is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, filled with moving students. Well,
Yeah.
Walmart's going to be the nightmare.
Oh, maybe I could just buy it online though, right, and pick it up.
Yes, you can. Yeah, it's very easy. After now though, they may not buy it. You may have to wait till tomorrow, but that's still you just waiting till tomorrow. All right, so you want to talk about politics or anything? What else has happened? So Biden dropped out of the race, everybody.
I feel like
You
that
guys-
happened since the last episode. Yeah.
But I'm still coming to terms with it. Like
That was so long ago.
I
It's
know,
like so.
yeah.
It's like
There-
how
there was-
how much are things going to change in the next 2 months too? It's just going to be. I'm excited.
So the boys and I yesterday, while you were on your mission up driving, why were you driving on Route 66?
I wasn't like 55 is
66.
parallels. Well,
Yeah.
some of 55 is 66, but then there's the side frontage road or whatever is Route 66, and I saw a Cybertruck driving down the side road.
Did you shoot at it? Oh, okay. So
No.
it was parallel. It was on Route 66.
Yeah.
What? Who's got us? Oh, it's probably the Illinois State Fair.
I don't know why they would be driving. Well, maybe.
Yeah,
to
55. They'd be
Springfield, and
driving
they
back up
take
to-
it
yeah.
from Chicago to.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
probably the one that's at Oakbrook.
It's
'cause I think there's
probably
one-
was Billy Corgan.
or that too. It probably was Bill. You probably saw fucking Billy Corgan.
He doesn't have a Cybertruck, does he?
Why wouldn't he? Isn't he like friends with Elon Musk?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Isn't
I'm sure
everybody?
he is.
Everybody who's
Yeah.
in the elite.
Okay, so, oh God, what are you looking at your?
I'm looking at the Target website.
We watched, me and the boys watched the Aaron Sorkin Chicago trial of the Chicago 7, and that man knows how to make politics enjoyable. If he was my history teacher, I probably would have learned history. Why do I have to hate Aaron Sorkin? Nobody can tell me. I know I'm supposed to hate him, but
you could, I mean, it could, yeah, I mean, I guess just history class where the teacher just plays Aaron Sorkin movies.
Yeah.
So it's like just a few movies and then The West Wing for
Why
for
do
the
I
rest
have
of the
to hate
semester.
him? I know I'm supposed to hate him, and then you guys are like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah, because you say that, and then you have no.
Yeah,
there's no.
Why am I? I'm asking you for guidance on why.
Why do you believe that?
Oh, why do I believe I'm supposed to hate Eric? Because every time some kind of contrived political event happens, somebody says the words Aaron and Sorkin together. Like wasn't that like a I don't. Maybe I'll just ask ChatGPT. So you're fine with Aaron Sorkin?
I mean, I haven't. I'm trying to think of how many. I mean, I guess I never watched The West Wing.
I didn't either.
Trying to think. Social Network? No, he didn't write that. He wrote. Did he write?
I think he wrote The Social Network.
Did he write The Social Network?
So he's like.
And he wrote the.
Who's the Roger and Me guy? Michael Moore.
Yeah.
He's like the political Michael Moore, although Michael Moore is the political Michael Moore. Is the problem that like you kind of massage
the Newsroom?
Yeah, I liked
He
that.
did that show.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. I mean, it was entertaining. That's the thing. Is like I'm sad. I want to watch TV and I want to feel good about being on the right side of democracy. So I watch Aaron Sorkin. It's the same reason that you're supposed to hate the Inglourious Bastards movie. Like, why do you hate that movie? Why don't you like that movie?
Well, I don't like historical fantasy.
That's it. That's because that's what Aaron Sorkin writes, right?
No, I would not say no, because Aaron Sorkin is not saying that like Hitler was assassinated. He didn't
write that. He hasn't written a thing about Hitler yet.
Is that true? I don't know.
It may
So,
not be.
I mean, yeah, the fictionalization. I guess it's different.
You don't like fictionalization of history. All right.
Well, I don't like weird revisionists, and that happened with, I mean, I guess it's not as big of a deal in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but the whole weird Manson thing, right? They killed the Manson family.
Oh, I didn't see that movie because you guys were like, that movie sucks, so I didn't get to see it. The Martin Scorsese movie?
No.
Right? Oh, what movie?
We're talking about Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, sorry, the
movies,
Quentin.
right?
Yeah. Okay, all right. It's our feed is choppy, right? Did you have to switch?
Somebody said that?
Thingy? No. I'm watching it.
Is it? It's
for me. It's like choppy.
Oh no. Okay, I did prioritize.
Oh well, then
stream.
it's probably you prioritized it, so I'm not getting the stream back as well. That's probably why. Okay, so
other people
what's
aren't complaining.
No, nobody's complaining. So what's going on in politics? What do you like? You're busy like buying. You want to take a break from the podcast here and buy your headset, your Pringles headphones. Do you need to pause it so you can?
I
do
don't
that?
think so. You're doing good.
No, I'm not doing good. I'll start talking about boobs again and do something wrong.
What do you mean? So you were talking. You're saying.
All
so
right.
Are you actually doing that? You're like.
I'm so sad.
Pulling something from. Wow. All right. Okay. What are you sad about?
I'm sad about things that I can't even talk about. That's it. I can't even talk. I have nobody I can talk to about things that I'm sad about. Guess I need to see a psychiatrist again. But you know what the psychiatrist wants to do? She wants to give me, like, there's some kind of thing, like, it's like electroshock therapy I think you can have, but it's not electroshock therapy. It's some kind of PTSD thing that they can do to you now.
Really?
And I'm afraid to do that.
To give you PTSD?
No, to un-PTSD you. And I'm afraid to do that.
Does it involve electricity?
No, it doesn't. Like, but it's you know, it's terrifying. You know, you never heard anybody talk about that. I can't remember.
Are you
what
just
it's called.
talking about cognitive behavioral therapy?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, so just changing habits.
No, I know. I think it's something else. Like it's like not hypnotism, but it's something
Oh,
like
okay.
that, right? It's some kind of eye movement thing.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I'm scared to do that. I heard you get really, really tired afterwards,
Mhm.
and then I was like, "Well, where am I going to do? What does that mean?" Like, I'm too afraid to even take a melatonin so I could sleep. You know. All right. I guess I went upstairs and I was changing. I was getting my clothes back on. You know, I took a nice shower. I even washed my hair. And like I have my Steve Albini like card, like Christmas card that says Merry Christmas to all except for Rose, who's a Jew. You know, it's just on my dresser, and I like looked at it and I was like, oh, he's gone. Yeah, EMDR. I don't know. It's something like that. Yeah, April. The thing with the 4 initials. Yeah.
The thing with the
Am
4
I supposed
initials.
to do that? Should I do that? Is that good?
PMRC.
I have to look it up. But, you know, it's like not letting go of stuff, right? I'm something happened at a really long time ago that Rick didn't do. Rick didn't do it. You didn't do it. It happened in my life a long time ago, and I know you're supposed to let everything go. You're supposed to not carry the old lady across the. I set the lady down hours ago. There's a you know, the monks, the story about the monks, you know, crossing. There's these 2 monks that are crossing. Here, everybody, let me tell you a fable. There's 2 monks. They're walking along, and they go to cross a river, and there's an old lady sitting there, and she needs to cross the river. So they pick her up, and they carry her across the river, and she was mean. She didn't thank them. She was like, yeah, you guys suck. You smell. She's saying all kinds of terrible things to them as they were carrying her across the river. And then they put her down and they say goodbye, and they kept walking. And then, like, at some point, the younger monk is like brooding, and the older monk says, "What's the matter with you?" And the younger monk says, you know, that lady, you know, she didn't even thank you. You carried her all across the bridge, and, you know, there she was mean to you, and she was terrible. And you know what the old monk said? What did the old monk say? Do you remember this?
Why are you still carrying the old lady?
Yeah, I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?
So someone, not me, you are carrying someone who is not me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're still with me, so I
Okay,
wouldn't
so
be able to put you down.
Somebody abandoned you, and you're still carrying them with you.
They didn't abandon me.
Oh.
No, I just like I'm a person who holds grudges, I guess. I'm a person who holds grudges.
Okay.
And like, you know, and so I'm still thinking about that. So, all right. So Lawrence Edward Summer is asking, how can that help a predisposed reaction to potential trauma? Yeah. Well, no, the trauma happens to you and then you don't care as much. That's what meditation does for you, you know? Sort of like hypnosis, but not hypnosis. You see, that's right where you get like, I don't like that. That scares me. Like, what if I start voting for Trump or something? What if it changes me all around?
You're worried about getting. It's kind of like having a brain worm or something.
What's a brain worm?
This is Robert Kennedy had a brain worm.
Oh, yeah. So let's start talking about politics now. So I don't have to think
Is that
about
politics?
Is Robert Kennedy politics?
Yes, I guess it is.
Yeah.
His brain worm? No.
All right, well, let's talk about, like, you said it's okay to get, and Lawrence Edward Summer is saying Total Recall. Let's talk about, so you said that we could get a Harris Walls yard sign, so that's nice. What's the point of doing that in Illinois? We're not sure, right? Because Illinois is going to go to Harris anyway.
Yeah.
But it's nice to show like it's nice to be like, yeah, we're for Illinois, Well, anyway, the other thing is that we were watching the whatever it's called, the trial of the Chicago 7 movie, and our child is preparing to go for go to the Democratic National Convention on Monday, like to go visit it. So that's really exciting to me.
And what's interesting is I think, was it when I was driving up to Chicago, I heard on the radio that the police will allow protesters and march. There's going to be a marching permit, but protesters will not be allowed to riot, is one thing the police department said. That will not be allowed.
Okay.
Like you can get a permit for rioting.
They didn't take out the riot permit. Well, yeah, there's probably a permit for Riot Fest. See what I did there?
Wow.
Yeah. But so they can, I mean, I didn't even realize it was the guy from Succession who was one of the lead hippies.
Jerry Rubin or Abby Hoffman? Which one is he?
I don't know.
I think he's Jerry Rubin.
Yeah, maybe.
And,
I don't know.
Borat is Abby Hoffman.
Right. So it's really entertaining. I mean, I my whole life I never really knew what happened there. So it was really entertaining. But then they do like pull at your heartstrings at the end with like when the riot happens, there's a woman, holding a flag, and then like frat boys who are described as frat boys. I guess I don't know if that's part of the story or not, but frat boys who are yelling at her, "Make me a coffee" or something like that. Go home and make me dinner or something like that. And so your heartstrings get tugged even more. But we watched that. But so he's going to go join the Palestine. There's a protest.
PLO,
he's gonna join the. I don't know. What do you call it? Do you call it anti-Israel? What do you call it? Anti-Israeli protest? What's the proper term for? Because I'm of two minds here. Like one of the minds is I obviously cannot stand what's happening there in Israel. But my other part of my mind is, boy, is that fucking complicated.
Yeah, so he's joining the protest, or he's going to be
he's going to
observing and filming.
It.
Yeah,
film the protest.
Yeah, not Aaron Sorkin and not anyone in the movie. You jumped there. I got
our child
confused.
is doing
Yes.
that. Our child is going. Do we need to worry about that?
Maybe a little bit, but we'll see. He's an adult. I'm just upset that the MC5's not playing.
Did the MC5 play in 1968 in Chicago?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think it was Abby Hoffman was supposed to put together a concert, and then he didn't get any permits, and nobody of the MC5 playing.
There's a girl drummer playing in the Aaron Sorkin movie.
Yeah, that's
so
not
I was
the
trying
MC5.
to figure out. Yeah, I was like, what band would play that with a girl drummer? Like the only band with a girl drummer that I know of back at that time, because it's not the window of me knowing things, is the Velvet Underground.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
the
Chris-
Shags. Did the Shags play?
Oh, Chris says the MC5 was the only band who played.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if Chris is going to be in Chicago. Are you going to be down in Vincennes? MC5 is the shit. Fantastic. Earl says. Thanks, Earl. Okay, come on. Let's step it up here. Oh, Jeff Alley says there's no footage of Pete Townsend hitting Abby Hoffman in the head with a guitar at Woodstock, even though there were many camera filming.
Yeah, conspiracy.
Up against the wall, motherfucker. Nope. I'll be. Oh, Chris is gonna be.
Yeah, and no, I
'cause
understand
Chris
that.
is teaching already.
And it's like Pete Townsend. That's like you get into a state, and I've been in that state where you like somebody messes with your performance. It's an attack. Like that guy that the guy who was changing my pedals, the knobs on my pedals.
Was it in Bozeman or Missoula? I can't remember.
I feel like it might have even been at Kane's. Oh no, that was a different guy who was like just making fun.
Oh, maybe it was Boise. It wasn't Boise. Oh man, where was that? Oh,
Yeah.
see, it's gone.
Yeah,
He got dosed. There, Lawrence says. God.
But yeah, there's a certain. Yeah,
Larry's-
what's the other footage? Oh
Larry
yeah,
says
there's a good Keith Richards smacking somebody with a guitar.
In 1968 in Chicago?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm just saying
Some
in
other,
general.
like, in
The
general,
Pete
like-
Townsend thing was at that big hippie festival. Woodstock.
Okay, see, yeah,
Yeah,
I got all, okay, it does say
We're just
Woodstock
talking
here.
in general,
Yeah, general-
about musicians.
Okay, yeah, that's a good thing we
physically
can talk about.
attacking people who, and then there's that was great. That was in the most recent Simon and Garfunkel or Paul Simon documentary. Was when it was right after John Lennon had been shot, and then some guy jumped up on stage. It was when they did their Simon and Garfunkel did that Central Park reunion show, and a guy jumps up on stage and goes after Paul Simon, and there's and then like Art Garfunkel's just standing there watching.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I remember
It was like,
you got
didn't-
all excited about that.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
But it's
thought that
also
was
you just
funny.
I they were saying, oh yeah, like your best friend since high school or junior high or whatever is about to be assassinated or murdered by someone on stage, and you're just kind of standing watching.
You know, I remember.
but it doesn't work that way. It's just like,
when
or
you're
what
on
the hell?
stage, you're
Yeah.
you're on a different mind. Because I remember when my amp caught on fire, and like I was just standing there like and like Jeff went and got like a pitcher of beer and like threw the pitcher of beer, like poured it into my amp that was on fire.
Yeah.
And I was just like you don't know what's going on when you're on stage. And I wasn't on drugs or drinking or anything.
Yeah, it's an altered state.
Yeah. Larry says, I was at the doctor's office the other day and MC5 was on the Light FM radio station they had playing there. And
Like,
Jeff,
the John Landau produced record or records, the ones that are really tinny, and the rock and rolly records after. I'm trying to remember. Those records always freak me out. I try to listen to them, and then they're just like, oh, what the hell happened?
we got Jeff Alley saying, why did Rachel wear an MC5 t-shirt on Friends? I don't know. Did that really happen? That's crazy. And then Lawrence Edward Summer, 82 Oakland. And Earl is saying, let them jam. Don't fuck with a man's pedals. It's true.
Exactly.
Don't fuck with a man's pedals. But that, you want to be part of... Man, okay, that reminds me, it's got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but like I'm doing a Pygmalion, I'm talking to Pygmalion again because probably they need another lady.
Music Arts Festival,
Music
Champaign.
Arts Festival in Champaign, and Bob Mould is going to be there.
Oh, really?
I'm going to be near Bob Mould.
He's going to be on the panel, or
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's so much cooler than like the last panel with fucking Jimmy Chamberlain.
So that's the so Bob Mould is playing.
He's playing
in the club too.
yeah.
The red.
Yeah.
The red. No.
I don't know what
See,
it's
I can't
called.
remember that either.
Yeah. I love Bob Mould. I'm
So
going to finish reading his book again. Sorry.
we went to my uncle's 90th birthday party, and he spent a good half an hour explaining his, sort of journey through science, and also what the computer program he's working on at age 90 still for his part-time for his job. And the most upsetting part of it is like, as we're talking and we can't remember anything, we're sitting listening to a 90-year-old man who is still programming and is able to, coherently put together a narrative of his whole life,
Yeah, he was pretty coherent. It was pretty impressive.
And it was like,
The
okay,
thing-
I can barely get through this right now, and I'm nowhere near 90. It was just like, it upset me. It was beautiful, but it was also like, I'm not at 90-year-old.
All right, I got a bunch of stuff here. So what Chris Schneeberger, all right, let's see.
you go.
All right, Schneeberger, sorry, Chris. Lawrence
You know what
Edwards,
you should do is maybe you just don't read out people's
I know,
full
Chris.
names. So
Lawrence
yeah.
says, Alpine 89, REM, my buddy Eric ran on stage. Michael Stipe ducked so beautifully into his mic stand. Chris says, when something goes wrong on stage, do you want fans like me to jump up and help fix it? Joey is always telling me not to. So no, of course, and
That's
I believe that Chris
okay.
has done that before, especially fans like you. In fact, that was now I feel a little bit better. So our dean, our brand new dean, was going to give a speech like in front of the whole college this week. This is like the only good thing that's happened to me this year. It's, he was, and I was talking to him beforehand.
Roseanne Hyperbole Marshak.
That's right. I was talking to him before, and I feel like I feel like I like strained his like I'm his mom now or something. Like I have like this motherly instinct toward him or something. He's so fantastic, our new dean. So, but he was telling me, oh yeah, I work off. I was talking to him about how like terrified I was to give a speech. I was terrified to give a speech, and he was like, oh well, I give my speech. I do breathing techniques or whatever, and then I give my speech. And he's a theater guy, right? I give my speech from slides, and then he got up in front of everybody, and the slides didn't work. The slides didn't advance, and I was like, oh my God. And he's like, well, I'll just talk to you guys for a while. And I was like, at that point, I was like, all right, I'm gonna fix this, and like I went halfway up it's like a little theater, right? I went halfway up the rows, and the computer was there, and you don't know what's wrong with it, right? It's kind of like you're taking your life into your own hands. But I didn't understand why the tech guys were not helping him. There were tech guys, the IT guys were there. Why
Well,
was
they were
nobody
working
helping
their
him?
way down there.
Were they? Okay, yeah, I didn't notice. I was just like, oh my God, I got to fix it. So, and then I fixed it, and I was so proud of myself.
Well, you
I
didn't
got
fix
to
it.
help
You
somebody.
manually.
Yeah, I
were,
manually.
You
Yeah.
were the human.
Advance. Yeah. But I felt like, oh, I helped somebody. I just want to help people. That's all. I don't want to be in some kind of fucking rat race with people. So anyway, all right. So yes, Chris, we want you to jump on the stage because also you feel good when you've helped, right? I remember there's been a couple of times when Tarek not only helps you remember your lyrics, but like I think he's come up on the stage and fixed
So those are
microphones
two
and
different
stuff.
things.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm
that's
talking
different
about
than
interlopers.
yeah.
I'm talking
We're not
about
fixing stuff. We
people
want you
who
to
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and Lawrence says I can't imagine Michael Stipe clubbing anything. And then Kenny Summer says, not more. I agree. Bob is awesome. YT broadcast, no Larry Summer. Hi, bro. Lawrence and Kenny are brothers. They have the last name. Oh, they're saying hello to each other. And they're my sister's friends. Okay. All right. I'm going to Larry says to Jeff that Rachel was probably thought the MC5 shirt was a fashion brand. I agree with that. Or maybe she spilled milk on her other shirt or something, and she had to wear this MC5. I don't know. Speaking of Lawrence, you want to talk about how where do you want to go from here?
So you were like speaking. So you had a thing, or am I supposed to know what you meant by that?
Our private screening of Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I didn't understand what you were saying.
We had a private screening of Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence, it's not the 50th anniversary.
No,
what
it's
is it?
It's the 100th anniversary of Columbia Pictures, and so they're doing special screenings of Columbia Pictures films, and Lawrence of Arabia is one of them. And so we went on a last Monday, 7 p.m. for a 4-hour screening of Lawrence of Arabia, and we were the only ones in the.
It was so funny. Like we were like, oh, should we buy tickets? But yeah.
I would say I was going to say we were the only ones in the theater. I think we were in the whole complex, the multiplex. We might have been the only patrons. It was Monday night. And then
night.
On top of it, it was like when we went and, checked in at the counter, the ticket, the box office wasn't open. You just went, how you go to the
you go to the popcorn booth
and they also take your tickets. Yeah. And the ticket taker said, concessions worker said, we'll be closing the concessions at 8:30. So this was 7. I know your movie's long. And that was when I also realized it's like, oh, great. People bought tickets to see Lawrence of Arabia. So that means somebody's got to stay here until 11:30 tonight. It's like if nobody had shown up,
they probably could have closed early.
That's
closed so
early.
sad.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. But, it's Lawrence of Arabia. You guys should be watching it too, movie workers.
Well, it showed 2 other times on Sunday. They had 2 other screenings.
So if you haven't seen Lawrence of Arabia, it was so good to see on a big screen. It was especially the IMAX version of Lawrence of Arabia, the IMAX
But
3D version of it. It was really good.
It wasn't the IMAX. It wasn't an IMAX.
You
screen.
actually can feel the heat of the desert. You can, you thought it was like a longer version than normal.
Well, I'm pretty sure the first time I saw it, there's a 187-minute version, so almost an hour shorter edit that came out in the early 70s, and so I saw that at my dad's work, actually.
Do you think they cut out part of the like going across the desert scenes?
Lots of stuff, apparently. It's just like, it just got trimmed a huge amount. I don't think any of the Turkish prison stuff or whatever that is. What's the Turkish where he gets
raped?
Yeah, that. I mean, even
the first time I saw it, that was in there.
It was, and it's been in. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember if it was, but it was even more confusing and not fully comprehensible what was going on. But I don't remember that when I saw it when I was a kid. I feel like that part wasn't in the movie.
Or your parents like distracted you or something.
No, I don't think that was it. But
or you didn't understand. Why is that man coughing?
It's very weird. It's like the most subtle. And so this was the big version. So it's a little different than the one that we would have seen. What was that? The 30-year one was longer, but not as long as this crazy last restoration one. So there was the restoration one. That was the 90s one. There's one that there was a David Lean edit, and then there was a restored edit that put back even more stuff. The one where Han shot first. So that's what we saw. We saw the really big bloated one, and then there's the original, the first early showings of it was super long. Then there was the 70s cut down by at least a half hour, 45 minutes, and then there was the David Lean in between cut that came out. Maybe that came out in the 80s. And then there was the restoration one. That's this big giant one. All right. So I loved the pacing of this one because and then I love the desert too, right? So, but I feel like you need all that extra time of watching them go across the desert to kind of even feel like you're going across the desert, and then to feel the loss that they feel and the triumph man, I love that movie so much. And I don't know if it's just that I'm getting older and more patient, but it didn't feel long. It felt like it moved pretty well for a 4 hour, nearly 4 hour
Well, you're not
movie.
getting older. Well, you are getting older, but all the movies are getting longer too.
That's true, but I do feel like, and so if I think about Flowers of the Moon fucking movie was over 3 hours, and like that I don't know. And then more directly, watch that again. Like what's his name's Blade Runner and Dune. Dune. Oh yeah, especially those, and so they're obviously modeling on that. Yeah, as opposed to like Beau is Afraid, right, which was 3.5 hours, but it felt like I'm making a 3.5 hour movie, not this is an epic story that needs to be fully fleshed out and told over the course of 3.5 hours. So there's certain 3.5 hour movies that just feel like somebody's trying to make a 3.5 hour movie, right? And right. Yeah. Just so they can say I made a 3.5 hour movie, or I don't have to edit anymore. I don't have to edit. I don't have to edit. Yeah. Right. And so it's like the Coppola thing where adding back in the French plantation scene is great in Apocalypse Now, but like it does really. Like that really long version of Apocalypse Now is kind of unbearable. It's like it was pretty good, edited down to 2.5. I feel like Lawrence of Arabia is a tapestry, and like my two favorite movies. I'm always like, Lawrence of Arabia and Apocalypse Now, but if with taken with Hearts of Darkness, those are my two favorite movies. Like when I think of Apocalypse Now, I also include Hearts of Darkness on it. Mm-hmm. But I'm like just watching Lawrence of I just love that movie so much. I love
I feel like it's a big long music piece. What do you call it? A symphony of desert. I feel like it's a symphony of desert. I love the words. I love the lyrics. The words are lyrics to me. I just love it so much. So okay, Joe Christman sent something. It's just like a rotating star pizza. It says 99 cents. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but thanks, Joe. Whatever that is. Also, he saw Deadpool and Wolverine last night, and it was fun. Good. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I won't know all of the jokes, but I'm sure it'll be entertaining. And Chris says, French plantation scene is great if you already fell in love with the original cut. Yeah.
Like, so that was what was great about
Symphony of Desert is going to be my new prog rock record. That's nice.
Hearts of Darkness was seeing those clips and seeing.
Hi, Tim. Sorry.
Yeah, how beautiful it was.
Yeah. So, do you want to? Can you just tell me a little bit about David Lean?
What do you want to know about David Lean?
Well, tell the people that he was the original. I don't know, Denis Villeneuve. I don't know. I feel weird liking something that's old, but I love it. I don't ever like things that are that old. When did Lawrence of Arabia come out again? Was it
62? I think, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah, the French plantation. Okay, the more you think about the French plantation scene, now let's cross over to Apocalypse Now. There's no reason why we should be talking about these two movies. We should be talking about Deadpool versus Wolverine, but we're not.
We haven't seen that.
Yeah, we haven't seen it, right? Exactly. So you watch Apocalypse Now. You watch it a couple of times. You fall in love with it. You fall in love with I don't know. All the obvious parts that you fall in love with, right? Then you watch Hearts of Darkness, and you're like, oh my God, this makes it even better. And then you actually get to see the version with the French plantation scene, and it's like, how could he have left that out? It is so interesting and so dense, and so there's so much material there. It's so made, it's so dense, and it's not there, And then you kind of feel the tragedy that was, all the things that he had to leave out. He must have gone through so much making that movie. We should watch Hearts of Darkness tonight and force our kid to watch it.
Well, it was interesting reading that book about Coppola. Which I can't remember, but the fact that he was using a video-based editing system, so he was doing kind of like an early version of digital editing, and so they basically duped all the reels of the film, and then he would do kind of live editing, and that 6-hour bootleg of rough cut of Apocalypse Now that we have.
That some fan gave us on tour.
Yeah, the fades are all weird and everything like that. It's because he was doing it on a video system. But it meant that he was able to, start doing that thing very early on, which happens with digital editing, right? Is that you can cut things and move things around, and you can just be constantly manipulating, without actually physically cutting film, right? So
yeah,
part of that is, he was kind of lost in that process. They don't talk a lot about that, but that was obviously what was going on with the editing. And I'm listening to the Elaine May book. It's the same thing, like the editing process. These directors getting lost in that process, and also shooting hundreds.
Oh no, Chris didn't know about the 6-hour risk. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's an insane. It's like a what do they call that? A comp. I can't remember what they call it. It's like when you basically just do your first kind of pass through and just cut everything together, like what I
did with my book.
Yep.
I had
yep.
Hundreds of thousands of words.
Classic editing process, right? Yeah.
You put it together and then you start chipping away.
You've got that first giant, massive thing. Yeah.
There, he's got the horror in here. The horror. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just having so much footage and having so many options to cut.
This is why Lawrence of Arabia is a better movie than Apocalypse Now. This is why Lawrence of Arabia is a better movie than Apocalypse Now, because they didn't even know how they were going to end. I understand it's like a Pixies record, they didn't even know how they were going to end Apocalypse Now, right? and fucking what's his name, didn't memorize his words. I know all the behind the scenes, because we watched Hearts of Darkness, and then you got the horror. Yeah, that's okay. But like, just think about how like Lawrence of Arabia begins and ends, and you even that motorcycle passing in front of the car that you liked, that you kind of noticed near the end of Lawrence of Arabia.
Isn't that? I mean, that's like the.
The
that's
connector.
obvious,
Yeah. But just everybody. I feel like everybody knew what they were going to be doing in that movie. But maybe I don't know. I probably should read books about these movies.
Well, no, I think they had a script and the full narrative. Now, whether or not, so I don't remember, but they may not have. It may have been a totally linear film initially, but then they may have put his death at the beginning. So that's not a spoiler for Lawrence of Arabia. It's the first 5 minutes he dies. They show his death at the beginning, and that may not have been, in the original plan.
God,
and it was just
yeah.
like, should we start this with him hanging out in a office painting maps, or like how should we start the film? And it's like, and then just realizing you have that loop of the motors. Yeah, that's actually
I wonder
and
who
they
argued
probably didn't
it,
write that. They probably edited that.
Yeah, that's weird though. Like, why would they? Is that like a Rosebud thing? Like, when did Citizen Kane come out? That was much earlier, right?
Yeah,
because it's black and white. I know that at least. I don't know.
What are you saying? So like having
Rosebud, Oh I Died, and then the retrospective. Was that like Citizen Kane dies at the beginning of Citizen Kane.
Right. Yeah. So I guess that. Yeah, but it's I guess that's a modern narrative technique, right? It wasn't like where you flashbacks, more complex.
I mean, all
time-
the
timelines.
Everybody complaining about making Star Wars in the middle of where were they, Morocco? I don't remember wherever they were. Oh, it was so hot and stuff. You never fucking hear David Lean complaining about that. Like, you never hear Peter O'Toole complaining that it was too hot.
I feel like there is, like, it's been
I'm
a
sure
while
there
again
probably
since
was.
I've seen the making of stuff. But the other thing you have to realize is that whole industry of making of stuff, they were, and that's a lot of like what, like for these older films, The Extra, a lot of times there was a documentary crew on set doing a promo film, like, so you always see those, and it was a specific guy like did a huge amount of these where you see they're like 10-minute short films about the making of the film.
Yeah, that's cool.
With the narrator and everything like that, and they show little bits and pieces, and it's I think a lot of times it was used to promote to distributors or to film cinemas and every the booking, the people who were going to be to see what the film was going to be, like coming attractions for people who were actually going to be booking the film in their theaters, right? And so there's less of that, but the whole thing with having the 70 millimeter 65 millimeter film cameras in the desert and keeping them cool, I believe.
I'll bet it was impossible.
Trying to refrigerate that and keep all of that working. Yeah.
And then your child got all, like, your child likes the Civil War movie. I know that your child also liked Twisters. I know there's a problem. He likes movies. It's cinema. But there's some kind of something about the editing or the filming of that Civil War movie.
Well, it's using that drone company, their cameras. So Civil War, they used this DJI camera. It's a high quality cinema camera, but it's also very portable, and I think you can fly it around like a drone. So it's relatively affordable. But it's that idea of, and that was the thing, is like watching Lawrence of Arabia, seeing like all the horses coming off of the train.
Yeah, that was,
okay, that's not computers.
I know, that's
watching 100 guys on horses ride into a city, right, and raid it from a mile away. That shot. And realizing, okay, that's not 100. Digital guys on horses. That's literally, they had to, it was like military maneuvers. And that's where it's like watching Napoleon, and it's like Ridley Scott. That's where it's like, okay, this isn't really, impressive anymore. What used to be impressive, and a lot of times I would say would be impressive about a Ridley Scott movie, is like how visually powerful it was, and then if it was on an epic scale. But now that you can do that stuff digitally, it's kind of like, oh, okay. It's like the story actually has to be good. It's not just about the way it looks, and and the acting has to be great, and there has to be more to it than just the spectacle. And so, watching Lawrence of Arabia, I'm watching, and I've seen it a bunch of times, so it's like, oh, I am looking at some of the technical stuff, watching how the camera's panning across and thinking about, oh, if this is a camera that's the size of a refrigerator, they're like 10 guys pushing it on a track, trying to get this shot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, how many times did they film this?
I know.
And
put the horses back on the train? How did they do that? Right. How
do you clean up the desert, or do you just do one? Yeah, you've just got one take.
Christ. That's it.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. It's really great. But the film, like if you don't, but the film itself, though, the narrative I think is good and it's engaging, and it's really Peter O'Toole. I remember I was fascinated by Peter O'Toole, and it's like when I saw that movie when I was a kid, and he's so weird. Like I just didn't have anything like context to process him, and it's a great movie, but it's not normal, right? You know what I mean?
He's a god.
It's kind of an art film.
He's a god.
It's a really
it is. Yeah.
expansive, epic
art film.
But there's a lot of weirdness and a lot of abstraction, or just like like you were talking about the rhythm of it.
Yeah,
where
it's perfect.
Like, you think about an Antonioni film or something like that, right? You think about Blow Up or something
they take
like
forever. The rhythm is
it's good. But I think it's good. But it's like it's definitely in that realm.
I was waiting for it. Like one of my favorite parts too, or just a memorable part for me, is like when he gets his robes finally. They decide he's gonna have robes now, and so they throw his old uniform into the fire. He's not other anymore. He's and this is why I like Shogun too, because there's an other that becomes not as much other, but he's still other. So and then Peter O'Toole gets robes. They give him robes, and they're beautiful white and golden robes, and he rides out into the desert, and he's like silent, and he's like dancing around kind of in the desert. There's a guy watching him. He's like the guy basically says, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's really funny. It's like it's a perfect movie.
Vanity.
What an imperfect, but what a strange God this man is. I love that movie. I want to watch it again. I don't even like any other movie as much as that movie. Apocalypse Now is I'm like, and number 3 I always say is Local Hero. It's weird that I have these top movies that they're strange, and Slacker is 4 just because of its ending. Okay, we got some stuff here. So Larry had to go. He had to go run to do a call to the post for a School of Fish Pick 4 contest. Mondegreen weekend. Thanks for being with us. We have a list of Kenny Summer has a list of films here. Film Class Films, Rear View Window, Hitchcock. Rear Window.
Yeah.
Hitchcock, Woody, Scorsese, Citizen Dick W, All the King's Men, Platoon, AL Now.
Apocalypse Now, probably,
Apocalypse Now, yes. Raging Bull, or Minnie Williams, Jack Nicholson films. Little Big Man, yeah.
Yeah, it is totally film school stuff. Little Big Man,
I always liked Little Big Man, but to
that
me
was
it's
definitely
like
another
it's
film.
a movie.
Yeah, that I saw when I was young.
Yeah. All right, and then Kenny also says Fablesman in a Way on Spielberg Youth. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
I did. I thought it was okay.
Oh. Yeah, he's written a bunch of other stuff too. He says Rest in Power, Albini, Happy India Independence Day, Morty is out in a moment. Thank God, Gesundheit. I think I don't know. I don't understand, but thank you for the arty words here. All right. So what else you got? It was 6:00.
6:00. we're done.
Wait, can we just say anything about I mean, who's going to win? Who's going to win the election? Like, do you believe that Harris is ahead? Because I think Harris is a little bit ahead. Like 538, dude.
Do I believe that
you're just
she's-
listening to Ezra Klein?
She could win the popular vote.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
I think she could
So
win the popular vote.
right,
Does
yeah.
that mean that she's going to win the presidency? No.
All right. So
So
also
I'm not saying yes or
Yeah,
no, but I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah, it's terrifying.
let's not get crazy. We've got early voting starting soon for a lot of people, so who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, my
in the
mom's
next,
gonna vote.
2 months.
She got her thing. She got her Florida ticket.
Yeah, good luck with Florida. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think she's gonna be able to tip the scales.
Do you still like Walz?
Do I still like him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Oh
I mean,
yeah. He's so nice. He's so left too. He's like a little left, kind of left, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what's left. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
And what was the thing I was going to say too? There was something else. Oh yeah, I was noticed. Like I'm reading. I'm going down my Facebook sometimes, and I'm like some of the dispatches from the the official Kamala Harris campaign. It's just like, oh my God, like they're really mean.
Are
Some
they
of them
real?
are just as
You
mean.
sure they're real?
I don't know. It says
It says they're real.
It says from the official account. I think
It says they're real.
Yeah, it says they're real.
Look it right here.
on Facebook. Yeah. Okay. So it might not be.
No, might not be.
Yeah, but I mean, still, I did see Walz say the thing about the couch and say, "See what I did there." Like in real life, I actually saw that, and I think it's okay because of all the shit that that Trump says, all the terrible things that he says. And I regularly swear at the New York Times, although I have not even been paying attention to it lately because, it just seems like, it's like, oh, that Trumpy again. There he is lying again. He told so many lies. It's like the Olympics. Wow. That's crazy. He's a liar. Let's see. Oh, Tim Walz said, misspoke that he carried a gun into war. Like, why do these people do this? You have to be so careful. You have to be so careful and not misspeak, I guess. Right.
Yeah, that's part of I guess.
Yeah.
But also people do misspeak or
Tell
say
lies.
things.
Yeah. Like trying to represent these are, I think what he was trying to say is that, these are things that people carry in war. These are weapons that are carried into war, and you don't need them in the classrooms.
That was something I read about we had talked about how Trump doesn't laugh, and then there was, it's talking about how somebody's saying some of the things he says are jokes, and it's like he's joking, and it's like, but you can't tell because he's not laughing.
Not laughing, and then you were saying that you'd never seen him laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He's probably had a
and
rough childhood, huh?
Well, his niece said that that's a family thing. The grandfather and father, or no, his sister. No, she's the niece. Is she the sister or the niece? I can't remember now. Said that this is just a characteristic, the not laughing. It's a weakness kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm happy that joy has been brought back to our lives with the Harris Walz campaign, and yeah, you can turn it off now. I'm not as depressed because there is Lawrence of Arabia.